The following is a class on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text number 33, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 25th April, 1973 in Los Angeles.
Translation. Others say that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare, and to kill those who are envious of the demigods.
So, there are two purposes of incarnation that is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Jada jada hi dharmasya klani bhavati bharata abhuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamaham. The Lord says that whenever there is irregularities, dharmas of religion, irregularities. Glani means irregularities. Just like you are executing some service, there may be irregularities, then it becomes polluted. So, jada jada hi dharmasya glani bhavati. Dharmasya glani bhavati means development of irreligiosity. That means if your wealth is diminished, then your poverty is increased. Balance. If you increase this side, the other side will go up. And if you increase that side, the other side. But you have to keep balance. That is required. So, in the human society, they are meant for keeping balance. What is that balance? They do not know. That it is just like balance. One side spirit, another side matter. We are spirit soul. Somehow or other, we have been encased within this body, material body. For that purpose, so long we have got this body, we have got necessities of the body. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, these are the necessities of the body. Soul does not require all these things. Soul has nothing to eat. That we do not know. Whatever we are eating, that is for keeping up this body. So, the bodily necessities are there. But if you simply look after the bodily necessities and do not care to look after the necessity of the soul, that is foolish civilization. No balance. They do not know. Just like a rascal, he is simply washing the coat but does not take care of the body. Or a bird is in the cage, and if you take care of the cage and don't take care of the bird within the cage, the bird is crying, tang, tang, give me food, give me food. But you are taking care of the cage. And this is foolishness. So, why we are unhappy? Why in your country especially, you are supposed to be the richest country in the world. You have no scarcity of food, no scarcity of motor car, no scarcity of bank balance, no scarcity of sex, everything is there complete, in full abundance. And still, why a section of people are frustrated and confused like the hippies? They are not satisfied. Why? That is the defect, because there is no balance. You are taking care of the bodily necessities of life, but you have no information of the soul. And there is necessity of the soul also. Because soul is the real subject matter. Body is the covering only. So, it is said that, I am explaining that verse, dharmasya glani bhavati. This is dharmasya glani. Pollution of duty. Dharma means duty. Dharma is not a kind of faith. In English dictionary it is said, religion means a faith. No, it's not. Dharma means the actual constitutional duty. That is dharma. So, if you have no information of the soul, if you do not know what is the need of the soul, simply you are busy on the bodily necessities of life, bodily comfort. So bodily comfort will not save you. Suppose a man is very comfortably situated. Does it mean that he will not die? He will die. So simply by bodily comfort you cannot exist. Survival of the fittest, struggle for existence. So when we simply take care of the body, that is called dharmasya glani. Polluted. One must know what is the necessity of the body and what is the necessity of the soul. The real necessity of life is to supply the comforts of the soul. And the soul can be comforted not by material adjustment, because soul is a different identity. The soul must be given spiritual food. That spiritual food is this Krishna consciousness. If you give the soul the spiritual food, food that when one is diseased, you have to give him diet and medicine. Two things required. If you simply give medicine, no diet, that will not be very successful. Both things. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is meant for giving food, means diet and medicine to the soul. The medicine is this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Bhavaushadhi chotra mano bhirama ka uttama sloka gunanubadad virajjati puman vinapasuna. Parikshit Maharaj said to Sukadeva Goswami that this Bhagavat discussion which you are prepared to give me, it is not ordinary thing. Nirvitta tarsai rupa giyamana. This Bhagavat discussion is realizable by persons who are nirvitta trishna. Trishna means hankering. Everyone in this material world is hankering. So one who is freed from this hankering, he can taste the Bhagavat, how palatable it is. It is such a thing. Nidvitta tarsai. Similarly, Bhagavat means also the Hare Krishna mantra is also Bhagavat. Bhagavat means anything in relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is called Bhagavat. The Supreme Lord is called Bhagavan, Bhagavat Sabda. And in relationship with him, anything, that Bhagavat Sabda turns into Bhagavat Sabda. So, Parikshit Maharaj said that the taste of Bhagavata can be relished by a person who has finished his hankering of material desires. Nidvitta tarisai rupagiyamana. And why such things should be tasted? Bhavaushadhi. Bhavaushadhi. Medicine for our disease of birth and death. Bhava means become. At the present moment we are in disease condition. They do not know what is disease condition and what is the healthy condition. These rascals. They do not know anything, still they are passing on as great scientists, philosophers, nothing. They do not inquire that I do not want to die. Why death is enforced upon me? There is no such inquiry, neither there is any solution. And still they are scientists. What kind of scientist? Science means that you advance in knowledge so that your miserable condition of life can be reduced, minimized. That is science. Otherwise, what is this science? They are simply promising in future. But what you are delivering just now, sir, just now you suffer, as you are suffering, go on suffering. In future we shall find out some chemicals. No. Actually, attantik dukkha nivritti. Attantik, ultimate. Attantik means ultimate. Dukkha means suffering. That should be the aim of human life. So they do not know what is attantik dukkha. Dukkha means suffering. The attantik dukkha is pointed out in the Bhagavad Gita. Here is the attantik dukkha, sir. What is this? Janma mittu jara vyadhi. Birth, death, old age and disease. So what you have done for vanishing or making or nullifying these dukkha, these sufferings. So there is no such thing in the material world. Attantik dukkha nivritti, ultimate relinquishment from all kinds of suffering is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Mam upeta kaunteya dukkhalayam asasatam napnubanti mahatmana samsiddhing paramangata. So you should read all this. You have got Bhagavad, everything explanation. This is attantik dukkha nivritti, ultimate relinquishment from all sufferings. What is that? Mam upeta. One who approaches me, or one who comes to me, back to home, back to Godhead. So they have no knowledge what is God, and whether one can go back to home, back to Godhead, it is a practical thing or not. No knowledge. Simply like animals, that's all. No knowledge. They pray, oh God, give us our daily bread. Now asking, what is God? Can you explain? No. Then whom we are asking in the air? If I ask, if I submit some petition, there must be some person. So I do not know what is that person who had to submit this petition. Simply They say that is in the sky. The sky, there are so many birds also, but that is not God, you see. There no knowledge. No knowledge. Imperfect knowledge. All. And they are passing on scientists, philosophers, great thinkers, writers, and all rubbish. All rubbish. The only book is Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam. All rubbish. In the Bhagavad it is said, Tadvaga Visarga Janataga Vipla Jasmin Pratishlokam Abadhavatapi Nahamani Nantasya Jasankitani Jat Sinnanti Gayanti Ginanti Sadhava. And on the other side, Natad Bachas Chitra Padang Harer Jasa Praginita Karhichit Tad Bayasam Tirtham Tad Bayasam Tirtham. Any literature which has no connection with the knowledge of God, Tad Bayasam Tirtham, that is just like the place where the crows take enjoyment. Where the crows take enjoyment. In the fieldy place. And the swans, the white swans, they take pleasure in a nice, clear water where there is garden, there is birds. So there are, even in the animals, there are divisions, swan class and crow class. Natural division. The crow will not go to the swan will not go to the crow. Similarly, in the human society, there are crow class men and swan class men. The swan class man will come here because here everything is clear, nice, good philosophy, good food, good education, good dress, good mind, everything good. And crow class man will go to such and such club, such and such party, naked dance, so many things. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is meant for the swan class of men, not for the crow class of men, no. But we can convert the crows into swan. That is our capacity. One who was crow is now swimming like swan. That we can do. That is the benefit of Krishna consciousness. So, when the swans become crow, that is material world. That is Krishna says, Jada jada hi dharma saglani bhavati. The living entity is encased in this material body and is trying to gratify the senses, one body after another, one body after another, one body after another. This is the position, and dharma means to gradually turn the crows into swan. That is dharma. Just like one man, maybe man, may be very illiterate, uncultured, but he can be converted into educated, cultured man by education, by training. So that possibility is there in the human form of life. I cannot train a dog to become a devotee. That is difficult. It can be done also. But I may not be so powerful. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did when he was passing through the jungle, Jharikhanda, the tigers, the snakes, the deers, all the animals, they became devotee. They became devotee. So what was possible for me, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he is God himself, he can do anything. We cannot do that. But we can work in the human society. It doesn't matter however fallen a man is, if he follows our instruction, then he can be turned. And that is called dharma. Dharma means to bring one to his original position. That is dharma. So there may be degrees, but the original position is that we are part and parcel of God, and when we understand that we are part and parcel of God, that is our real position of life. That is called Brahma Bhuta state. Understanding his Brahma realization, identification. So Krishna comes, this explanation, just like Kunti says, that apare Vasudevasya devakam jachito abhagat. Vasudeva and Devaki prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that we want a son like you. That is our desire. Although they were married, they did not beget any child. They engaged themselves in tapasya, severe tapasya. So Krishna came before them. What do you want? Now we want a child like you. Therefore it is said, Vasudevasya devakyam jachita. Jachita. Sir, we want a son like you. Now where there is possibility of another God? Krishna is God. God cannot be two. God is one. So how there can be another God to become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki? Therefore God agreed that it is not possible to find out another God, then I shall become your son. So people say that because Vasudeva and Devaki wanted Krishna as their son, he appeared. Kechid. Somebody says, Vasudevasya devakam jachito, being requested, being prayed for, abhagat, he appeared. Ajasya tam asya chimaya bodhaya cha suradvisham. Others says the same thing as I was explaining. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskita. Actually, Krishna comes to pacify his devotee, just like he appeared to pacify, to satisfy his devotee, Vasudeva and Devaki. But when he comes, he does the other business. What is that? Bodhaya cha suradvisham. Bodha means killing. Suradvisham. There is a class of men, they are called Asuras. They are Suradvisham. They are always envious of the devotees. They are called demons. Just like Prahlad Maharaj and his father Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu is the father of Prahlad Maharaj. But because Prahlad Maharaj was a devotee, he became envious. That is the nature of the demon. So much so envious that he was prepared to kill his own son. The only fault is the little boy, he was chanting Hare Krishna. That is his fault. The father could not. Therefore, they are called Suradvisham, always envious of the devotees. Demon means always envious of the devotee. This material world is so nuisance place that just you have got a very nice example, just like Jesus Christ, Lord Christ. So what was his fault? But the Surodvisa, the envious person, killed him. And if we analyze, what is the fault of Jesus Christ? There is no fault. The only fault he was preaching about God. And still, you find so many enemies, he was cruelly crucified. So you'll always find this Surodvisa. So Krishna comes to kill this Surodvisa. Therefore, Badhaya cha Surodvisa. These envious persons are killed. But this killing business can be done without the presence of Krishna. Because there are so many natural forces, war, pestilence, famine, anything, just sit on working, millions of people can be killed. So Krishna does not require to come here to kill these rascals. They can be killed simply by Krishna's direction, nature's law. Prakriti kriyamanani guni karmani sarvasa. Srishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti rika. The nature has got so much power that it can create, it can maintain, it can annihilate, dissolute, everything. Nature is so powerful. Srishti sthiti pralaya. Srishti means creation. And sthiti means maintenance. And pralaya means destruction. These three things nature can do. Just like this creation, material creation, is natural. Nature, cosmic manifestation. It is being maintained. By nature's mercy, we are getting sunlight, we are getting air, we are getting rains, and thereby we are growing our food, eating nicely, growing nicely. This maintenance also being done by nature. But and any time, everything can be finished simply by one strong wind. Nature is so powerful. So, for killing these demons, nature is already there. Of course, nature is working under the direction of Krishna. Maya dhakkena prakriti surati sa characharam. So, if Krishna says that the demons may be killed, then nature's one blast, one strong wind can kill millions of. So for that purpose, Krishna does not require to come. But Krishna comes, as it is stated here, that jachita. Krishna comes when he is requested by his devotees like Vasudev and Devaki. That is his coming. That is the cause of his coming. And simultaneously, when he comes, he also shows this, that anyone who is envious of my devotees, I kill them. I kill them. Of course, he is killing and maintaining the same thing. He is absolute. Those who are killed by Krishna, they immediately get salvation, which requires millions of years to get. So people say like that Krishna came for this purpose or that purpose. Actually, Krishna comes for the benefit of the devotees. Khemaya. What is the meaning of khemaya? For maintenance? For the good. For the good of the devotees. He is always after seeing good of the devotees. Therefore, from this instruction of Kunti, our business should be always how to become devotee. Then all good qualities will come upon us. Jasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunai tattva samasati sura. If you simply develop your devotion, dormant devotion, natural devotion, we have got natural devotion. Just like father and son, there is natural affection. And the son has got natural devotion to the father or mother. Similarly, we have got our natural devotion. When we are actually in danger, even the scientists, they also pray to God. But when they are not in danger, they defy God. So therefore, danger is required in order to teach these rascals that there is God. So there is nature. Jivet Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. That is our natural. Artificially, we are trying to banish God. God is dead, there is no God, I am God, this God, that. This rascaldom we shall give up. Then we shall be given all protection by Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. It's our great privilege and honor to welcome amongst us our beloved His Holiness Bhakti Vasudev Swami Maharaj. Hari-o. So Maharaj has come after a long time. So we'll be very, very happy to again in Maharaj Association. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So what do we just start? Okay. Om Gyanatmirandasya Gyanajanasalakhaya Saksulamalitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sachetaya Manobhistam Sthapetam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamaya Dadati Sva Padantikam Vanchakalpataribhyacha Kripasanabhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnava Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinamani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Anirvisesa Sanyavadi Pasatya Disatari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Sri Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So welcome everyone to this segment of our morning program. The class is always joyful to be in the morning programs. And we are going to take our text from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 7, Text 33. What Prahlad learned in the womb. That is the title of this chapter. Can someone read the text for us? Yeah.
श्लोका रिसाइट करने के लिए श्लोका रिसाइट करने के लिए एवं निर्जित षड्वर्गे
क्रियते भक्तिरीश्वरे वासुदेवे भगवती यया संलभ्यते रतिः एवं निर्जित षड्वर्ग क्रियते भक्तिरीश्वरे वासुदेवे भगवती यया संलभ्यते रतिः एवं निर्जित षड्वर्ग क्रियते भक्तिरीश्वरे वासुदेवे भगवती यया संलभ्यते रतिः.
So, we just read the translation because of the time factor. Translation: by these activities, as mentioned above, one is able to cut down the influence of the enemies, namely lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and jealousy. And when thus situated, one can render service to the Lord. In this way, one surely attains the platform of loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: as mentioned in verses 30 and 31, one's first duty is to approach the spiritual master, the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to begin rendering service to him. Prahlad Maharaj proposed that from the very beginning of life, Kumara Acharet Pragyaha, a small child should be trained to serve the spiritual master while living at the Gurukul. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasandantu Guru Hitam. Bhagavatam 7.12.1. This is the beginning of spiritual life. Guru Padasrayaha Sadhu Vatmanu Vattanam. Sadharma Preacher. By following the instructions of the Guru and the Sastras, the disciple attains the stage of devotional service and becomes unattached to possessions. Whatever he possesses, he offers to the spiritual master, the Guru, who engages him in Sravana, Kirtana, Vishnu. The disciple follows strictly in this way and in this way learns how to control his senses, her senses also. Then, by using his pure intelligence, he gradually becomes a lover of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami, Ado Shraddhatataha Sadhu Sangaha. In this way, one's life becomes perfect, and his attachment for Krishna becomes positively manifested. In that stage, he is situated in ecstasy, experiencing Bhava and Anubhav, as explained in the following verse. So, all protocols observed. We just discussed a few things based on this text. It's been almost, I think, more than a year when I came to Delhi last. So, here in this text, and specifically in this chapter, it's about Prahlad. Prahlad. So let's reflect on this. Prahlad's father was a demon. Is that correct? Correct? So, and he's a sinly person. A dog is supposed to give birth to a dog, to a puppy, not a bird, isn't it? So how is it? How is it that a demon has that rare opportunity to have a devotee child, a pure devotee? How is that? Now, in the 20th chapter of the Nrsimha Purana, this mystery is demystified. When Hiranyakasipu initially wanted to become invisible, not to become really beyond the destruction of anyone, he wanted to perform some austerities, talking about the background of how Prahlad, the main actor of this very chapter, comes to be born in the family of a demon. So Hiranyakasipu had told his wife, Prahlad's mother, that he will be going to the forest to perform austerities. And he said he'll be going out, he'll be going away for a long time. If you love your wife, you always reveal your mind to your wife. You always tell her what you want to do, your plans, strategic plans, long-term plans. You tell your wife. Oh yeah. So Hiranyakasipu, he loved his wife. So he told his wife he will be away for a long time. And as he had planned to go to perform austerities, to beg, to beseech Lord Brahma, to be blessed with immortality. And Lord Brahma knew about this. And he was worried. Imagine someone coming to ask you what you don't have, what you cannot give. And Lord Brahma is the supreme Lord of this universe. The secondary creator, but he's the supreme Lord of this universe. So when Hiranyakasipu had this conception and made his plan and revealed his mind, his strategic plans to his wife, Lord Brahma's son, the best of Lord Brahma's sons are Putra sisters. Lord Brahma himself revealed that Narada Muni is his best of his sons. In the Nrsimha Kavacha, there are two Nrsimha Kavachas. One was spoken by Lord Brahma, one was spoken by Prahlad. And so Lord Brahma revealed in his recitation or in his narrative of the Nrsimha Kavacha, of his own Nrsimha Kavacha, that Narada Muni is the best of his sons. So Narada Muni, he also was aware that his father was in anxiety about the proposed austerities of Hiranyakasipu. So, as a very affectionate son to his father, his son should not see the father in anxiety. That was the exact position of Narada Muni. So he realized his father was in anxiety. He also knew Narada Muni has understanding of past, present, and future. And so when his father was in anxiety, he went to placate his father. It's like a typical Indian child will go to meet his father. Papa, don't worry. I will deal with this situation. So, Lord Brahma also knows the potentials of his son, because he is a pure devotee. He travels all over the universes. Not only this universe, but all over the universe. Narada Muni could go anywhere. He is not circumscribed by time, place, or circumstance. So when Narada Muni came to placate Lord Brahma, he was pacified. And what was his plan? What was Narada's plan? Narada had planned with his friend Prabhupada Muni. These are all documented in the 20th chapter of Srimad Purana. You could check this up. I like making references because as a scholar, when we say some things, someone else may repeat that narrative, but they should be backed up with reference. And Prabhupada is very good at references. Read his purports. He always makes references to the scriptures. Citations are there, just like you go to the law court and the lawyer may make some proposition, but then he has to back up his proposition with a reference from the law books. So, when Narada approached Prabhupada Muni, he told Prabhupada Muni the situation, that his father was in anxiety and he wanted to relieve his father from this anxiety, so the both of them, they should assume the form of birds, go perch on a tree under where Hiranyakasipu was going to be performing his austerities. And they would have to chant a particular mantra. Om Namo Narayana Hanamaha. So they did that. And Hiranyakasipu, when he heard these two birds chanting this mantra, he is enemy of Vishnu. And these birds are chanting names of Vishnu. The names of Krishna and names of Vishnu, they pacify the heart, they pacify the pure devotee, they give the pure devotee bhava. For Hiranyakasipu, it's a big disturbance. I mean, it's like sometimes devotees are in a particular community that the names are complaining. These people are chanting, they are chanting. They don't want to hear the holy names. So Hiranyakasipu typifies the attitude of modern people who are averse to Krishna consciousness. So as these two bears were reciting this mantra repeatedly, and those birds were Narada Muni and Prabhupada Muni. And so Hiranyakasipu was disturbed, and then he left. He stopped his austerities. He went back to his palace. So one day, why are we giving this background? Why Prahlad, a saint, a devotee of Lord Vishnu, has to take birth in the family of a demon? Because it's not supposed to be. In fact, if you perform Garbhada Samskara, a man and a woman perform Garbhada Samskara, they will produce a powerful child. But the non-devotees, they don't perform any Garbhada Samskara. They just enjoy sex and produce all types of entities that could create disturbances in society. So, one day, Hiranyakasipu was having fun with his wife. And before the discharge of semen, his wife asked him, "My dear husband, what really happened that you came back from your austerities so quick? You said you're going to be away for a long time." A perfect, intelligent woman knows what to get, facts to get from the husband at the right time. The husband will not hide anything when they're having sex just before seminal discharge. At that time, he's completely under the control of the wife. So she asked a question at that time. And Hiranyakasipu started giving the narrative of the episode that transpired when he was in the forest performing the austerities. So at the time that he was repeating what these birds were chanting, Om Namo Narayana Namaha, that was the time he discharged semen. That was the reason that Prahlad was invoked into Hiranyakashipu's wife. So here we understand from this text how to become completely free from the circumscriptions of the illusory energy. We are all circumscribed by the illusory energy. We are limited because of our circumstances, our bodies. Who wants to be lusty? I don't think anybody wants to be lusty, because the understanding is that lust could create so much problems. You act against your better judgment. In fact, Arjuna asked Krishna in the Gita, just to paraphrase, he said, what is it that impels someone to act even against his better judgment? I don't want to do certain things, but it seems I am forced to do it. And Krishna said, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Raja Guna, Samobhava. So nobody wants to deal with lust. No one wants to make lust. In fact, people don't want to even identify with lust. And that is why, I don't know the case in India, but in America, someone is lusty after the other person, and they say, they use a euphemism, a very polished slang. I have a big crush on that guy. They don't say I'm very lusty. I'm really so lusty after this guy. Or I'm so lusty after this girl. They say, I have a big crush on that girl. Because the term lust, people try to avoid it. And this is what impels us to do things against our better judgment. Anger. Who wants to be angry and destroy themselves? In fact, one doctor wrote a book, Anger Kills. You could check that on Google. As a medical doctor, he delineates how when someone is angry, toxins are generated or are emitted into the bloodstream. So all of these negative qualities, greed, illusion, madness, these are incoherencies, they are barriers to pure devotional service. And therefore, the process of devotional service is a solution to decarcerate us from all of these entanglements, and then be able to prepare ourselves to go back home, back to God. Because through the process of devotional service, we can attain Bhava, Anubhava, Krishna Prema. The process is simple, but we may make it very complicated. Because human beings, we like to make things complicated. Even simple things, we like to make it complicated. I mean, it's like you go in academia, people, the professors, they don't want to say simple things. They want to say things in a complex way so that only other professors will understand. So that if you don't have the PhD, then it makes you like you're foolish. You don't understand anything. But they can say that same thing in a very simple language. So we like to make things complicated. We can also bring that mentality of complicating things into devotional culture and make the devotional process very complex and complicated. But it's a simple process, straightforward, simple process that begins with Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. And so, this process is very glorious. Experiments have been conducted. So many people, Prabhupada touched their hearts when he came to the West, when he established, when he set up this Krishna consciousness in New York in 1966. A number of the people he met were actually out of their social order, but through the process of devotional service, they were rectified. So our problems may not be as big as the early followers of the Krishna consciousness movement. The lost can be demystified. The lost can be purified through the process of Krishna consciousness. The anger can be demystified through the process of Krishna consciousness. All of these are misses because sometimes we don't know why we get angry. Again, Lord Krishna has given us information in the Bhagavad Gita. Anger is also due to unfulfilled lusty desires. Or someone says something you don't like. So this body conditions us in so many ways that create an inhibition, a check on our efforts to become perfected souls. And therefore the process of devotional service helps us to reinvent our spiritual identity. And the process is simple. Approach a spiritual master. Render some service, make some inquiries. Tadvidi, pranipatena, pariprasnena sevaya, upadiksham te jnanina, tadpadasham. This is a simple process. Approach means what? Approach means what? I can say, well, Prabhupada is my spiritual master. But approach means approach. Someone who is alive, you can approach that person. If someone is not physically present, you cannot use the word approach. You may use some other English language. You may use some other word, not the word approach. So let's be clear that we need guidance. If even you're so expert, suppose you have so many documentation before you start your PhD, you have say 50 publications in peer-reviewed journals, and you want to do a PhD, you will still serve under the directions of a PhD professor. Living one, not the founder of the faculty who has passed away. And so it's a simple thing. In fact, some of these ideologies of trying to run away from the reality, it's not worth it. And even ordinary intellectuals, not people, not even devotees, you cannot make those arguments to them that you don't need a living mentor to guide you. You definitely need a living mentor to guide you. So this is emphasized by Prabhupada in the purports here. So the disciple, aspiring disciple, has to serve as a brahmachari and then make some profits. All right, any comments or questions? Okay.
Hare Krishna. Comment? I will comment. Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. So here, Prahlad Maharaj is describing the leader of the bhakti, starting from Shraddha, then Sadhu Sang, and then Bhajan Kriya. So Bhajan Kriya, under the guidance of Guru, one performs Bhajan Kriya, and from Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. So Anartha Nivritti means Nirjit Sadvarga. One conquers the 6 enemies, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsar. So these 6 enemies are conquered. So this means Anartha Nivritti. And from Anartha Nivritti, then he says Krite Bhakti Rishwari. So Krite Bhakti Rishwari means Nishtha. So from Anartha Nivritti, one comes to the platform of Nishtha. So Krite Bhakti Rishwari. Then from Nishtha, one comes to the platform of Ruchi. So Vasudeve Bhagavati Ya Sanlabhite Ratihi. So Rati can be translated as Ruchi also. So from Nishtha, one comes to the platform of Ruchi. And Ruchi means when you are hearing or when you are chanting, you are not fatigued. You don't feel any fatigue. You don't feel bored. So this is called Rati or Ruchi. So on the platform of Ruchi, we have this facility that we don't want, we are not, what we say, that we become very much disgusted. So Rati or Ruchi, the platform Ruchi, we don't feel like leaving this. Now I am completely, see, what do you say? Bored. We are bored. We get bored. So Rati means we don't have any aruchi. So on the when we are not coming in the platform Ruchi, then after class or 1 hour, 2 hour, now we are fatigued. No more class. We want to leave. So this is the effect of Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga, see, makes us leave this association of devotees. We are now no more. We are so much bored. So like that. So here is Vasudeva Bhagavati, yes, and Lambhite Ratihi. So Ruchi platform is very much needed for us so that we remain in the process of devotional service, in the association of devotees. Otherwise, I stay for 1 month in the temple. Now I become bored. Now I have to change association. Now I have to change the temple. So these things are coming because of Rajoguna. So because of Rajoguna, we want some change. But here is Ruchi. So Ruchi means we get stability. Nishtha is also a stability, but Ruchi is furthermore that we get taste and new taste. Pade pade, swadu swadu pade pade. So Ruchi means that when we hear Krishna Katha, so we hear every day Krishna Katha or Bhagavatam class, and we relish the new taste. So this is called Ruchi. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, this
Question or a comment?
question, Maharaj. Can I ask Maharaj?
Yeah.
So Maharaj, you had mentioned that Prahlad's mother Kyadu asked Hiranyakashipu that when he came back, why did you came so early? So I couldn't get that point. Like, who recited that mantra, Om Narayana Namah?
The mantra was recited by Narada Muni and Parvati Muni. They were reciting that mantra when they came to perch on a tree where Hiranyakasipu, under that tree, Hiranyakasipu was performing his austerities.
So at that time when they were making a discourse, like
Yeah?
when Kyadu and Hiranyakashipu, so basically how did that really happen? Like you said, somebody recited that mantra and then that's how Prahlad was born.
Hiranyakasipu was giving the narrative, the episode that transpired in the forest. The wife asked, what transpired that impelled you to come back, to return to your palace so early, more than the anticipated time of your expected arrival? So Hiranyakasipu was giving the narrative of what transpired in the forest. And he was repeating the mantra that Nada Muni and Prabhupada Muni at best were reciting, that he got disturbed and left his meditation or his austerity. It's there, you can read that up in the Mahayashima Purana, chapter 20. I like to be definite, okay?
And is it because of the Kalpa Veda story? Like this is a different story?
See, all of the information that you may have about these pastimes are not documented in one book.
Like generally when we hear this story because of Narad Muni, he made him hear Kyadu, the entire Bhagavatam, and because of that Prahlad was born as devotee, and this is another narrative. So it is because of Kalpa Veda or like two parallel stories?
Narad Muni said,
so generally we have been hearing that how Prahlad became devotee. It is because of Narad Muni that Kyadu heard Bhagavatam from Narad Muni when Prahlad was inside the womb.
But how did a soul of that caliber came into the womb of the wife of Hiranyakasipu?
See, this is another question.
How this was why a powerful soul of that nature who will have the opportunity of listening is called details. This was the reason why as a powerful soul such as Prahlad will take shelter of Hiranyakasipu's wife's womb to be able to hear instructions from a pure soul right when he was in the womb. It's called detail.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Mahesh.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, you taught us that we should approach a person. Srila Prabhupada is also emphasizing. Whereas Maharaj, sometimes it comes in mind that Srila Prabhupada has already taught everything in the book. And if I am facing some challenge, so knowledge is already there and I know what to do. Maybe I am not able to do, but I know what I am supposed to do. So what is that then means it remains alive, that going and asking to approaching to a representative of Guru seniors. So kindly guide Maharaj.
Now, what Prabhupada is mentioning, the purport. Thank you. Very nice question. What Prabhupada is mentioning, the purport, is a reflection of what Krishna enunciated in the Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada is not saying something that is vague out of his imagination, but he is repeating the words of Lord Krishna, wherein Lord Krishna says in the Gita, we have to approach a spiritual master, render service, make some inquiries, humble inquiries. And so this whole idea of you don't need a guru, Prabhupada is the only guru, it sounds wonderful. Okay. But look at it. If you go to any university, say in America, in the UK, or even in India, if you go to any university, go to the Faculty of Management. The founder of that faculty in most universities, the founder of the Faculty of Management, if you go to the Dean's faculty at the reception, his mission statement, his vision and goals of founding that faculty, they are inscribed on the wall of the reception. Now the dean who comes in, after that founder leaves, after that founder of that faculty dies, the next dean simply follows the mission statement, the vision and goals of the founder of the faculty. Prabhupada also established a mission statement, goals, and vision. They are documented there in Planting the Seed by Swarup Goswami in Prabhupada Lilamrita, the 4th volume. It's documented there. So Prabhupada also established his mission statement. In fact, every organization has mission statement. ISKCON has a mission statement established by Prabhupada. He has a vision and goals. So if we simply follow Prabhupada's mission statement, goals, and vision, yes, we'll be successful. And we have to do that under the guidance of his representative, a spiritual master. If we want to serve Krishna, in fact, our Prabhupada, when he was aboard the Jaladuta to America, he wrote a poem, and I like one of the verses of those poems. Krishna taba punya habe ba e punya koribe jabe radharani kosi habe dhruva ati bole tu maitai. He said, brothers, if you want to gain the favor of Lord Krishna, you must approach Radharani. You must satisfy Radharani, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Why? Because this is a process. Yasa prasadam bhagavata prasadam, yasa prasadam nangatika topi. So we recite all of these mantras every morning. But we have to also see there is something we call conceptual framework or theoretical framework, which is a basis, or it's like the theory. But then we have the commentaries of the Acharya, which corresponds to contemporary scholars discussing that very theory. And even beyond those two stages of knowledge acquisition, you have to come to the platform of applications. Applications where you integrate the theoretical frameworks and the contemporary knowledge acquisition of those very theoretical frameworks. For us, is the commentaries of the Acharyas and what the Sastras have said, what Krishna has said. So the integration of what Krishna has said and the commentary of the Acharyas will lead us to the point of application where we can have high or great realizations. But that comes with service under the guidance of the spiritual master. Now, Prabhupada, how did we get this ISKCON? Prabhupada got instructions from his spiritual master. He's read the books. He read so many of this, the Vedic literature. But he met his spiritual master. Prabhupada himself met his spiritual master. And he served his instructions. And that's why the ISKCON was established. In fact, the instructions of the spiritual master is encapsulated with empowerment. So, if you want to become a doctor, even after getting the MBBS, you call it doctor, but you cannot go and practice as a medical practitioner. You have to go and do your MD, where you go and specialize. But that you will serve under a specialized doctor in the field, whether it is neurology or general practice or cardiology. That specialization you have to serve under such a specialized medical person. So even in the material world, even in the material education. That process is upheld. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.